Okay guys, so since my wife has made a couple of how-to videos, unfortunately I've already started, I'm a little ahead, but I looked up at Daniel and I was like, hey, why don't we make a little home repair video to put out there for folks. So last night, unfortunately, Daniel walked into the laundry room and noticed water on the floor. And so we could hear the water hissing in the wall. And so today I took, as far as some tools you might need, I already had a sheetrock saw, so I had to get my sheetrock saw. And a magnet is handy so you can find the sheetrock screws in the paint so you can remove those. But so I've already cut out my 2 pieces of sheetrock that we'll be able to put back and patch. Of course, we'll have to add some more deadwood like this to attach it to. And that's a project for another day. Today we're just trying to get the water fixed. So I went to the hardware store. I knew it was going to be tight in here trying to cut this copper. Your copper, you have to be careful not to deform it, so you don't necessarily want to take your Sawzall and stick it on it because it's going to deform it. So I picked me up a little small cutter, pipe cutter to use in the wall. And it's a really handy tool. Yes, they are a little expensive, but SharkBite, I love SharkBite. They're great. They're so easy. You just slide it right on your copper pipe, changes you over to PVC. It also works on PEX as well. So I've already removed a little bit of stuff, and I've already got the one pipe cut here, so I've got to cut my other one. You don't want to get in too big of a hurry, if you've ever used the pipe cutter, let's just say on some EMT or some fence or something. You don't want to tighten it down too quick because, again, you can misshapen the copper, and you want to make sure it stays nice and round for when you slide your SharkBite or whatever adapter you're using. So just don't get in too big a hurry with your tightening as you're cutting. Oh, and when doing home repairs, if you don't have a lot of cutoff valves, the very first time I repiped all this, when we took out the hot water heater and went tankless, I didn't have all these. Until one day I had a leak similar to this one, and then I realized, hey, I got to cut my water off all the way out at the well. So I came back and I've got a main cutoff, hot water cutoff, and a cold water cutoff. So right now we actually still have cold water in the house, and I've just got the hot water turned off. Alright, so those look pretty good. I actually don't have any, hey, here's one of my sandisms. I don't have any, whatchamadoodle. Where's my thing? I don't have any sandpaper. Where's that, yeah. So, we're making do with a sanding pad that you would actually use on your sheetrock. I'm probably actually moving this a little more than I should. All this movement, I could actually be accidentally creating a leak down here in the slab, so I probably should be a little gentler with this. Alright, they don't have to be super clean. Like I say, the main thing is just be gentle with it, because it is old. And as you saw how easily this other piece is so deteriorated, it just easily was collapsing, so it actually made sense the way that leak, well, actually it was in this elbow here. I think it was up here at the joint where it was actually soldered together. Alright, let's get our SharkBites. These are pretty cool. They come with a little plastic piece on the inside, so you want to make sure you have that guy and you don't lose it. The other cool thing about the SharkBites is they make little tools, so you just depress that and they're reusable. You can slide it on and off. This piece here, we've had that coupler right there we've had for years, and I've slid that off multiple times. Just having to work on previous leaks or having to replace the hot water heater. All right, so we gotta go outside because that's where I left the pipe. I don't have it in the laundry room. To cut the pipe, you could just use a hacksaw or a sawzall. Cutting the PVC, or CPVC is what we're using here, but I actually got an actual PVC cutter just to make it a little easier. So wanted to go about 1 3/4 inches on that little piece. So this little guy makes it real simple. Cuts you a nice straight piece. If you've never glued PVC or CPVC before, you want to make sure when you press it in, you hold it for about 10 or 15 seconds. If you just press it in, if you immediately let go of it, I've actually seen it push itself back out. But other than that, it sets up really quick. You don't have to go crazy on these compression couplings. Like, you don't have to go grab pliers. Hand tight should be good enough. Alright guys, we'll let our PVC glue set up for a few more minutes and then we'll turn the water on and see what happens. Okay, so we waited the 10 minutes recommended by the PVC glue. And so now we're ready to go ahead and turn it on, and hopefully we don't have any leaks. I normally turn it on, gradually to start off with, that way I'm just not hitting it hard with the full pressure. Of course, since we are working with our hot water, we're going to need to make sure we purge our tank. One thing I did not mention in the beginning is you definitely want to make sure you turn the power off. Alright, so far we're good. All the PVC, as far as my experience with PVC glue, we shouldn't leak there. If we leak anywhere, it's going to be because, I didn't clean this pipe well enough where the SharkBite adapts to it, or possibly this union up here would leak. But for real, whether you got a regular tank for your hot water heater or a tankless like I've got, make sure you do turn the power off, because then you got to make sure you purge the tank. So we need to go run some hot water. So that noise you're hearing is all the air in the line. So like I say, you want to make sure you purge your tanks. You got to get all that air out of the line. If you don't, and you go ahead and add electricity back to it, and those elements turn on, and there's not water in there for them, then they're going to burn it too. Okay, so we actually stopped recording for a couple of minutes, and I just wanted to show you that we still have air in the line. So just because it clears up, there may still be some air bubbles in your tanks. And again, I can't stress, because I've got tankless, and that's actually the very first tankless we had. That's actually how I messed it up one time doing a similar repair, and I thought I had purged the tanks well enough, and I did not, and I ended up burning it up, and we had to get another one. So we're going to let the hot water run a little bit longer to make sure we get all that air out. Okay, we feel like we've waited an adequate amount of time to get the tanks fully purged. So we've got all the water out of the lines. Now we're ready to turn the water back on. I mean, not turn the water back on, but turn the power back on to our hot water heater. So we'll go ahead and get those breakers on. We've got our lines purged. Hey, honey, can you turn the hot water back on?
Absolutely.
So our hot water heater's on. And looks like we didn't tear it up. It's starting to warm the water up. So we should be good to go. No leaks. Not today, because I do want to wait a few days as far as just in case there is a leak. But so we can go ahead and just temporarily sit these sheetrock pieces in. So maybe another episode we'll document doing a sheetrock repair. But for minimal aesthetics, we'll halfway sit that in place to get us by. But hey, for less than $100, I think I had $50 today, and what all I had to buy, I already had the glue, I already had the punch saw for the sheetrock. You know, so whatever. If you didn't have some of the tools that I already had, you know, maybe $80 or so. But anyway, if this is something you feel like tackling yourself, as you can see, it's not too bad. SharkBite is your friend because it's easily adaptable. If anybody tries to tell you to do PEX, you got to have a lot of specialty tools. Just the PEX crimping tool alone is over $100 just for that device. But anyway, y'all have a great evening. God bless.